Okay, let's see if that'll stay clear for us, huh? Let's hope it does. And catch the sunrise if it does. Because my arm gets so tired of holding that camera. You know, by the time I'm through taking those pictures, I have a cramp in my arm. Or I have to hold it up with my other arm. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Hello? Hello, it's me. What a lovely morning. Check that out, huh? Yeah, that thing was very beautiful this morning. Yeah, I came out way too early and it was too dark. Came out the second time, it was too dark. Came out the third time and it was just right. Yeah, so you know, I had a long, wonderful journey when I first was saved. Yeah, well, like I said, you know, my sister Sandra and I made an agreement, and yeah, we made it back down to the cities a year later. You know, I didn't die, so we came back to the cities, to Minneapolis and St. Paul, to put our kids back into the public school system. It was fall, and we came back down, and I heard that my sister Sandra was in the hospital. And when we got there, they were just taking her into surgery because her stomach was gone from leukemia, you know, and drinking and alcoholism and all that. But yeah, leukemia was the one that really did her in. Yeah, I miss her so much. She was my favorite friend, my best sibling, beside my brother Michael, whose name wasn't really Michael, it was Jay. But anyway, yeah. And she never made it through the surgery. A short time later, the doctor returned and said that he had cut the wrong tube, whatever that meant. But yeah, that she had bled to death on the operating table. The doctors had told us that it was a last effort thing, you know, and there was no guarantees that it would work. And what they wanted to do was put a shunt next to her heart, you know, that would drain the fluid off her abdomen. Yeah, that didn't work. I believe she was number 6 that they tried it on, and all 6 patients died. Yeah, I met, they finally did succeed. It with someone else a few years later, actually about 8 years later. And a friend of mine named Bob Goodman was the first successful patient that lived through it and that it worked on. And I asked him how he worked, and how it worked, and he just said he pumped a little pump right next to his heart, and that took the water off his abdomen and put it into his bloodstream where he could, get rid of it. And yeah, he lived maybe a few years after that. But then he fell over complaining that he couldn't breathe. Yeah. Okay, so my sister Sandra, we brought her up here and buried her. Right across the lake over there, actually, where that big cloud is, coming straight down to the trees, is where our graveyard is. And that's where my favorite friend is, and my favorite brother. Yeah, be careful who you love in this place. Um, I mean, God has his ways of doing things. I don't know about you, but he took away everything that I ever trusted in or adored or loved. Not on purpose. I don't believe he did it on purpose. I believe it was, because he was supposed to be the center of my life. And, after, my friends were gone in this world, that I grew up with, that I had close, intimate relationships with, we ate together, we slept together, we argued, we loved, we forgave, we made up. Then there was just me and Jesus, until my family came along, and they grew up, they grew up, and your children become your best friends. In this place, your children become your best friends. I waited for my best friends to grow up. And then I had a lot of best friends again. But yeah, God is like that. He wants to be number one in your life. And well, he should. Then we began our walk together. Well, we were walking together already, but, a closer walk, more intimate. I began to, discover him and know him, by reading the Bible. Yeah, it's true, that Bible, some things you read and they just kind of body slam you right to the floor, they take you out, and you just got to lay there and think about it for a while. Oh my God, what does he mean? What does he mean by this? Is this true? Things like that. As I read the Bible, I waited for Paul to come visit me. He said, I will come see thee shortly. I'll come to you shortly, and tell you things. And, every day I waited for Paul to knock on my door. It was only till later that I discovered, that he did knock on my door through the Bible. He told me what he wanted to tell me. Told us in his letters to, Corinthians and Galatians and Ephesians and Colossians and Thessalonians. I thank God for Paul. Thank you for him, Lord. Yeah. So many wonderful things after that happened, I'm just so grateful that I'm saved. If you're like me, if you're wandering through life, wondering, what you're here for, or, what the purpose of life is, I want you to know that God absolutely wants you to find it. He wants to show it to you if you would only ask. He said, ask and you shall receive, knock and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened, seek and you shall find. God never says no, I heard, and I know that. He just says wait. Be patient. Yeah, ask God to come into your heart and to be your Lord and your Savior. I mean, we're born with a soul and a body, but we need that spirit part. We need that God part inside of us, or we're not complete. We're born with those two parts, as I said, and we go through our lives looking to fill that third part or that inside part, which seems empty. Or we know we're looking for something, and we'll know when we find it. And it's Jesus. You're looking for Jesus. I'm absolutely sure of it. I never thought I was looking for Jesus either. I never thought that I needed God. I was a Catholic. I was baptized when I was a child, when I was a baby. And I was raised, to know the Ten Commandments and everything, and that was it. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't a close relationship with Jesus. I knew about him. I heard about him. Uh, but I still got lost along the way into the world as I grew up. Um, so if you want to save all the grief that I had to go through and all the hunting that I did, try Jesus first. Read that Bible or go find a church. There's probably somebody in your life right now that you could name that wants to tell you about Jesus. Um, just find that person and talk to them every once in a while and go squeeze that grape. I'm sure you're going to get some juice out of it. Wow, check out that sun. Okay, thank you for listening very much. I thank you. And now I'm going to go and upload this, and hopefully it doesn't take all day. God bless y'all.